Hey guys, this week's video is on meal prepping for college kids. Most specifically, we're going to focus on breakfast because as we all know, we can't wake up in time for breakfast or breakfast.
Yeah, for me personally, I always skip breakfast because I plan my morning routine out to the minute of just getting ready, getting dressed. So I'm always going to my first class or to my job without eating, and it's really bad for your metabolism, and it's just a lot better for you, like energy wise, if you eat breakfast in the morning, and meal prepping is definitely a better way to do that. So for meal prepping in general, you're going to want to have a couple different containers. Specifically, we like to use some smaller ones just in case you want to separate anything out of your meal. For example, if you're doing a salad and you want to heat up your chicken, it's good to enclose the chicken in a smaller container that you can just take out and microwave. And you can do that also for like colder items, so you don't want to microwave bananas or something like that. So it's good to have some different sizes. You're going to need a measuring cup because you want to know actually how much of a proportion you're putting into this, so you don't want to overserve yourself. And then at some point in your meal, you're probably going to have to cook, so you're going to need a pot.
And for today's actual meal that we're going to be making, we're doing oatmeal. So what you'll need is some steel cut oats or any oats of your liking that you can basically get at any grocery store. We're going to have some black chia seeds. These are all things that you can add in your oatmeal to make it a little bit more interesting, or just add some more nutrition to it. And then we have some organic fruit. We have goji berries and a banana. It's just to give you an idea. So yeah.
Okay, so we've come up with 5 steps that we think can be spread across all meal prepping. So we're focusing on breakfast in this video, but really you can apply these tips to any one of your meals.
So for tip 1, we have make a plan. Create a grocery list, plan the meals out ahead of time so that you don't end up buying whatever looks good when you get to the grocery store. It's important that you know what you want to have at the beginning of the week so that you can go and buy those items and cook everything at the beginning of the week as well so that you're not rushed for time during the week.
The second tip we have is to invest in a good set of Tupperware. So earlier in the video we mentioned buying Tupperware that comes in different sizes. That way you can package food separately. But we also recommend stuff that's microwave safe and also dishwasher safe. That just makes your life easier, so you can just pop things in the microwave and eat it straight out of the container, and that also makes it quicker, especially for a college student. That's better if you're running low on time.
The third tip that we have, so we know that meal prepping, your ideas for the meals that you want to make, it can get very boring after a while. You can make a lot of the same recipes over and over and eating the same thing week after week. So it's important that you put some variety and get some creative ideas. So we've come up with making yourself a Pinterest board so that you save all the recipes that you come across when you're on social media and things like that, because they have a lot of great ideas to put some variety in your meals.
So our fourth tip is to target your trouble times. And what that basically means is whatever time for you feel is hardest to eat at, that's the time you should meal prep for it. You don't have to meal prep for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because that might be asking a lot, and maybe that's not something you need to do. For me, I have trouble with breakfast, so I would meal prep for my breakfast meal, but I don't necessarily have to do that with lunch or dinner because I don't have a problem eating at those times.
Our last tip, number 5, goes hand in hand with our second tip, which is to make sure that you're packaging your hot and cold foods separately, because they can get pretty gross if you're putting hot food with cold food. And sometimes you have to heat up certain things. Say you, like we said earlier, you make a chicken salad and you want your chicken warm. It's important that you put those things separately, because then you'll ultimately end up heating up your lettuce, which is not very tasty at all. So those are our 5 tips that we have, and we hope they're really useful.
All
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and we hope that this video was helpful.
We hope these tips gets you started on the meal prepping journey.